So what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel, Brighter Life Institute. I'm Alicia. Today I want to talk about the lockdown for the unvaccinated. But before we get to this, let's start a discussion over in France, where 4 days ago the President of France announced that they will begin to deactivate the vaccinated passport if anyone who's over the age of 65 and has gotten the booster shot. Macron announced a new vaccine rule for the people 65 or older in France. For the country has a high vaccination rate, new coronavirus cases and hospitalization have been increased in recent weeks. President Emmanuel Macron of France announced the tightening of anti-coronavirus measures on Tuesday, as the virus case kept rising across France and the rest of Europe. In a televised speech, Mr. Macron called the trend worrying and urged people to get vaccinated against the coronavirus as soon as possible. People over 65 years old, he said, will now have to get a booster shot to remain eligible for vaccine passport that is required to gain access to restaurants, museums, long-distance trains, and other public places. The new rule takes effect on the December 15. If you don't get the booster shot by the 15th of December, your pass will be deactivated. It will go from green to red, and once again you will be relegated to staying at home. Hear how President Macron explained his decision in a speech when he made this announcement, and I quote, "Vaccinate yourself so that you can lead a normal life. Being free in a nation like France entails being responsible and showing solidarity on there for counting on you. Vaccinate yourself so that you can have a normal life." They are going to deactivate your vaccine passport if you don't get your booster shot. This means you will lose all rights to go to cafe, restaurant, and other rights that normal citizens used to enjoy before the COVID-19 rule. However, during the same speech, President Macron also alluded to the fact that very soon this booster shot mandate will extend beyond those who are just over age 65. That's because during his speech, President Macron stated that starting in early December, those above the age of 50 will also be eligible for the booster shot, with the natural assumption being that shortly after the shot is available, kids will be amended. Now France is now the only European country that is changing the definition of what it means to be fully vaccinated. Flying now to the situation in the UK. Mr. Boris Johnson, who is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he came out and announced that in order to be considered fully vaccinated over in the UK, people will need to have gotten a booster shot on top of the original 2 doses of the vaccine. Here specifically, what is said in a speech just yesterday on the booster shot, it's very clear that getting 3 jabs, getting your booster will become an important fact. And you will make life easier for you in all sorts of ways. And we will have to adjust our concept of what constitutes a full vaccination to take account of that. If ever added that just like over in France, the English government is currently working on adding the booster shot to their digital COVID-19 passport. Mr. Boris Johnson added during a speech, as we can see from what is happening, 2 jabs sadly do start to wave. So we've got to be responsible, and we've got to reflect that the fact in the way that we measure what constitutes the full vaccination. Now, in justifying why exactly this move had to be made, Mr. Saeed Javid, that is the British Health Secretary, he came out and cited data which show that the vaccination, regardless which brand of vaccine it is, the effectiveness of them wave significantly over time here. Specifically, what he said in a speech just yesterday, we know immunity to COVID-19 began to wave after 6 months, and new data published today show a 3rd dose boost protection against systematic infection and more than 90%. This highlights just how important it is that everyone eligible get their top-up jabs as soon as possible. You may look at those 2 stories and you may think that what's happening over in France and in UK is already beginning to push the bound of civil liberty. This situation in France and in the UK look kind of manageable and elementary when we start to compare it to what is happening over in Austria, where the government there, they have just announced a complete lockdown of anyone who's now not vaccinated. Austria introduced lockdown for unvaccinated. About 2 million of people who has not been fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 have been placed in a lockdown in Austria as the country faced a surge of the case. Unvaccinated people will only be allowed to leave home for limited reasons, like working or buying food. About 65% of Austria population is fully vaccinated, one of the lowest rates in Western Europe. Children under the age of 12 and people who have recently recovered from the virus will be exempt. Unvaccinated people were already barred from visiting restaurants, hairdressers and cinema, but will now be expected to stay at home. The Austria government even ordered the police to spot check paperwork in the street and random. The new rule take it up to a notch, and it stipulates that unvaccinated people, they can only leave their home for a limited number of reasons, like either going to work or shopping for essential. And if, for instance, an unvaccinated individual decide to break the law and take an illegal stroll in the park, meaning you decide to want to go for a walk in the park, well, he or she can be stopped by the police and be given a fine of up to 1,450 euro. And in a term of how many people is actually affected over in Austria, well, according to their government official statistic, approximately 65% of the population is vaccinated, meaning that over 65% or about 3 million of people in total are not vaccinated. Furthermore, according to Austria Health Ministry, who provide more details on what's actually happening, he said that this lockdown will for one not apply to those who are under the age of 12, recently recovered from COVID-19, and that thirdly, the lockdown will initially last for only 10 days. Although, frankly, on that last point, the idea that it will only last for 10 days still need to be seen, as we had it before in 2020, where we say we need 10 to 15 days to curve the curve, and that went on for nearly half of the year. How you guys see all those situations, all those new measures imposed on unvaccinated people and also on people that got the 2 shots already? During the war, the exclusion of the Jew from the German economic life, the isolation and demoralization of the Jews. When people are scared, they can easily be manipulated to take incredible, unhuman, dangerous action against another person. Here we are talking about the lockdown of the non-vaccinated people. And some of you out there may feel very strong about your rights, for those people to lose their rights and their liberty, because you vaccinated yourself. But in today's video, I'm talking also about the vaccinated people that receive the 2 shots, that are now being pushed to take a 3rd shot. You also can lose all your freedom, access, if you don't get the 3rd booster shot. Like I mentioned in my last video, this one here, I doubt this is going to be the last time you are going to be asked to take the so-called booster, as the effect of the vaccine wear down in the 6th month. Recently, I met some people that received the 2 shots of the vaccine 1 month ago, and now they were reported to have the COVID-19 and they had to stay home, but they are fully vaccinated. Therefore, this report that the vaccine wear out after 6 months still need to be researched further. I will ask again the question I asked it previously in one of my videos. Is the vaccine really effective? Imposing a lockdown on unvaccinated people, unvaccinated human beings, and removing them from society and removing their liberty is dangerous attack on human rights and democracy. We at this moment are accepting so much pieces that belong to the so-called democracy to be removed at mass, by mass. And we agree with it. It's like the population is paralyzed to realize what is happening. And I think this is happening because people are scared. People are talking about wanting to travel, to go out, to see their friend, to go to the club, and so on. But the reality is, people right now are afraid. They are living in fear to lose their freedom. But they do not realize that many of the steps that are actually being taken are currently making that fear a reality. Losing your liberty, losing your freedom. The other side about creating a lockdown only for the unvaccinated and removing them from society is when a doctor carries a test to find out what you are allergic to, they remove a variable. Maybe removing the unvaccinated from certain public places. The government and the scientists community are going to realize that the infection is still growing, and they won't be able to deny that the fact that we all know already that the vaccinated people can still get COVID-19 and can still infect other people. This illusion, sense of security that many have after they got vaccinated may get exposed if the unvaccinated get removed from their community. Then, if this happens, we will have to get back to the biggest question. Is the vaccine really effective? I want to ask all of you, vaccinated, unvaccinated, we are people, we are human. There are great suffering that humanity have inflicted on other humans. Right now, we are going to a dangerous place with all of this. Not just for the unvaccinated, but also for ourselves. Because right here, we are talking also about the people that got vaccinated 2 times and pushed them for a 3rd shot. And if we go to what has been said, that the reason they want a 3rd shot is because the vaccine wear down after 6 months, then that means we are going to get asked to get vaccinated every 6 months. That's incredible. And every time that you're not going to feel comfortable to take it, or you got sick on the 3rd shot, or you got sick on the 2nd shot, and now you're worried to take a 3rd shot, you are going to lose your freedom. You're going to lose your rights. How far can this go? Are we walking to a dangerous path here, like the Germans during the war did to the Jew? They slowly removed them from the German life, the German economy. It is very dangerous for us, all of us, to take part in this, and to not take part to say something about it. We humans have not caused this virus. We are all suffering it. We all have lost something. The data regarding the Pfizer side effect, a company today in the United States have requested that the data will not be shared for another 50 years. 50 years. We will not know what is really the side effect of those vaccines in our body. But furthermore, we, all of us, have defended the idea of liberty, democracy, and the right of people in where we live, in our countries. So we are living in a world that people feel secure to live in it, feel safe. That abuse that is going on all around us do not get strengthened and do not get the right to exist in our community, in our society. But where are we going when some of us applaud that a part of 3 million, 2 million of people, part that live in our country, get put aside out of what we are as a country? They are getting removed from the right they should have as a citizen of that country. I will ask many of you to really think about this. Bad things happen when good people do not take part. And right now I understand there is a virus, but the people that are vaccinated still can get infected with the virus and still can pass it on. Is that not the same thing that an unvaccinated can do? What is the difference? That this person say, I got the vaccine. Yeah, you get the vaccine, but you still get the virus. You still can get sick from it. You still can pass it on. So what is this all about? There is a time we need to start questioning what is in the vaccine. Really, what is going on? There is a time where we need to be asking great questions that do not put anyone's right in jeopardy. We need to be asking if vaccinated people still get sick and can pass the disease as the same than unvaccinated people. Is the vaccine really effective? I had a friend today that is vaccinated with a 2-shot, and he was told that he had the virus. He has to stay at home, and he was worried because he told me he felt safe to go around and meet his friends and family, and he was around people that also were not vaccinated. But those people he was around did not get affected, but he got affected and now he's sick. We need to do something about it, but we need to do it in a way that we do not dangerously take in it is a dangerous path for our life and other people's life to support extremist action, extremist decision and rules. We do not want to be part of a human story like we had during the war. This, what happened during the war, happened for many reasons. We have discarded a part of the population to not be good enough, to not have the right to have rights, the same than we do. This is dangerous. And today, I wanted to talk about that. And I hope some of you are going to see how wrong and how dangerous, how the path that we are going to. Everything being focused on the virus, the COVID-19, and many things has been forgotten a bit, like disease, research for beating the cancer, the environment, And now our right, our democracy, our liberty, that is taking a hit after hit. Everything that was a conspiracy are becoming a reality. Last year, I was talking about, well, they are going to not allow us to go to work if we're not vaccinated. And I had some colleague laughing. But now, nearly 7 months later, that's what is happening. And if we do not open our eyes, ask questions, and take part to make sure that our society stay a safe society, that our country stay a democracy, we are dangerously going to a road where some of our fellow human beings can be hurt by our action and no action. We must take part. It's our life, our country, our democracy. It doesn't matter where you come from. If you stand up for liberty and for the right for people to be free and to be protected, you must also ask yourself some questions and see. Hello guys, in the time I'm recording this video, Austria have just announced that they are going to start a full national lockdown on the 22nd of November. And also, in February, they have declared a full vaccination mandate for everyone.
Continues, to what extent it crystallizes, and of course it leads to the fundamental question, Francois, which is, how do you enforce the law that they intend to pass in February? What are they going to do to people who refuse to get vaccinated? And if there is a large number of people who refuse to get vaccinated because they really rally around this opposition core of the kickle, then what exactly is going to happen? And I think the question that is posed goes beyond public health measures and goes to the very core of Austria's political and cultural system.
Okay, so this was Brighter Life Institute. I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.